I think we should call deviled eggs satanic eggs. Let's stop pussyfooting around. Let's just go for it. It's so weird that they call it, like, why do they call it deviled eggs? Like, oh, what are you eating? The eggs of Satan. I must do his bidding, but I need protein first. I saw a TikTok video that was trying to prove that God was real, but I think the fact that TikTok exists means that God definitely does not exist. Although if you think about it, TikTok is hell, so maybe there is a God, I don't know. It's gonna be weird generations from now when the discussion of generational wealth comes up, you know, like somebody like in the future will ask somebody like, hey, where'd all your family money come from? Oh, my great-grandparents were TikTokers. Like, oh, what was that? Oh, it was just a living, breathing tire fire at all times. Just awful. People made videos. What kind of videos did your great-grandparents make? Well, my great-grandmother danced. She did silly dances. That's where this mansion came from. What about your great-grandfather? Oh, well, he did reaction videos. What's a reaction video? Oh, it's when, like, a person without talent reacts to a person with talent. That's what a reaction video is. Thank you for clapping. Good God, what are we doing? People are just so dumb. Here's a great example. I worked this event recently. I was emceeing this event. It was like 14 hours off and on. I was up on stage bringing bands up and stuff. And I had like a 10-minute break where I was going to sit down, and all I wanted to do was like eat this sandwich in silence for 10 minutes. It's all. I had 14 hours I was there. I just wanted it. What?
Eat it in silence.
I have arthritis? What the? Shut the fuck up. If I ask for your opinion, then you speak, and then otherwise, we can talk after the show. I love you. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. But yeah, no, thank you. Really appreciate it. But let's stick to the jokes. So, I had this 10-minute break, and I just want to eat this sandwich in silence. And I'm sitting there, and as soon as I'm about to take my first bite, this drunk guy sits down next to me. And he looks at me, a man that doesn't want to look back at him. I'm giving him no reaction at all, as if I don't want to see him. And he just thinks, well, this guy wants to be my best friend. And he opens with, well, my gout is flaring up again. And then for the next 8 minutes, it felt like I was late to a meeting about an update on his gout. At one point, he was like, well, it was going okay, and then I ate all that sausage on my birthday. I couldn't get this guy to shut the fuck up. Eventually, I realized there's only one thing I can do. I gotta fight fire with fire. And I was like, well, as bad as your gout is, you should see the blood in my diarrhea. Ugh, it's not even my blood. This is messed up. And then he left as if I was the rude one. I hate people. I overheard, these are all real conversations I've been a part of or overheard. I overheard a young woman turn to her friends on the beach, and she asked her friends, have you guys read The Diary of Anne Frank? Yes, it gets bad. And they're like, no, is it good? And she was like, she just complains the whole time. And then she goes on to say, I've been to where she was staying. It's like basically the size of my apartment. It wasn't that bad. Yeah. Got me thinking, like, wow, that Anne Frank, such a complainer. Good Lord, she was spoiled. And I just started to think, like, God, how terrible it would be if we had to read this idiot's diary, you know? Like, the diary of Caitlin. She's like, I think my toes are getting fat, and they ran out of rosé at the corner store. I wish Nazis were here to kill me. Some people say if they go back in time, they would kill baby Hitler, right? I would go back in time, pick up baby me, and then take baby me to kill adult Hitler. That would be the ultimate humiliation. I overheard a first date, man and a woman, they're having a date, and the woman says to the man, for whatever reason, she decides she's going to explain the Pythagorean theorem on their first date when she was not qualified to do so at all. She was just like, A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, D equals 4. I'm dumb as shit. I know that there's no D in the formula. And the guy bought into her intelligence for some reason. He was just like, he asked her, like, the next question I heard him ask, he was like, how does psychology work? What kind of dumb, broad, basic-ass question is that? These are two of the dumbest people I've ever witnessed. It was, and I didn't hear the answer, unfortunately, but let's just assume it was very wrong. And then later, I heard her say, my dream is to one day talk to a physicist about how the universe works, but I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at because I'm self-taught on YouTube. About the universe? And right about then, I kind of blacked out. And then I started daydreaming about the movie Children of Men. I don't know if you've ever seen that. If you've never seen it, it's this movie that's set in the not-so-distant future where, like, suddenly no one can have babies. And I was like, please, God, let Children of Men start now with this first date, because if they have a kid, we're all doomed. Like, it's bad. I also witnessed one time, I witnessed a redneck shame a man visiting this country from France because he didn't know what a corn dog was. As if he was the uncultured one. It was mind-blowing. He's like, you don't know what a corn dog is? Tell you what, you should get the fuck out of my country right now. It's only the most delectable treatment for gods and kings. And the guy was like, oui, but what is a corn dog? And he's like, they don't sell corn dogs down at the Louvre? Well, it's basically a fried weenie on a stick, you idiot. And then that was the French guy started laughing, which was the exact wrong response. So I don't know if you've seen a Frenchman be stabbed in the eye by a corn dog, but it's really funny. I had to give a urine sample recently. That's never fun. But I regretted not making it more fun, you know? Like, if you've never given one, you have to, like, you pee in a little cup, and then you take that cup of piss, and you put it in this little window, this metal window. You slide a thing open, you put it in the window, you slide it back, and then somebody on the other side slides the window open, and then they take the pee and go nuts. And what I wish I had done is fake slit it shut, like just make a noise, but then just stand in the window like, ah. And then when they open their side, I'm like, can we be best friends? Excuse me, piss father, for I have sinned, you know? Are you the piss wizard? Do you like shadow puppets? There's so much you could do there. It's great. For the last 6 months or so, whenever I take a shit in our home, I play the song Release the Beast by the band Breakwater. It makes me laugh, makes my wife laugh, and it's a nice signal that, like, hey, don't come in here, it's bad. She knows I'm shitting, it's an alarm. But last week, I went into a bar and that song happened to come on, and I shit my pants. Yeah, I accidentally created a Pavlovian response. I call the whole experiment Pavlov's asshole. I'm a scientist, you guys. When you're sliding into first and you feel something burst. Yeah, there it is. Oh man, that was a good song. Man, we all laughed. I remember that song as a kid. We'd just, the diarrhea song, we just laughed at a Little League. We'd just crack us up every time. Just every time we laughed at that diarrhea song. And so recently I was like curious. I was like, who wrote this genius song, you know? Like there has to be an author to this song somewhere in time. So upon a little research, I found out that the song is based on a real life event where this kid, Shelby Buford from Knoxville, Tennessee, died of dysentery on the baseball diamond, essentially from dehydration, from diarrhea. Yeah, it was awful. And then here we were, like as kids, just like, when he's sliding into third, he felt a greasy turd, diarrhea, you know? Like, it's terrible. He's sliding into home, his pants were filled with foam. That's not even medically possible. This poor child. Like a human body doesn't produce foam. That is messed up. And we just laughed. Shame on us. Shame on us. I made all that up. I don't know. It's a funny song. It's still funny. It holds up. After fake killing this poor kid Shelby and my grandmother, you guys don't trust me anymore. It's fine. There'll be more fake deaths. What's real and what isn't? I'm more of a magician than a comedian. Guys, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Chef Boyardee's culinary school was pretty easy. He was definitely there on a football scholarship. He got kicked out for only making pasta in a can. That's all I got to that new one. There's been some debate as to whether the band Creed was a Christian rock band or not, but I would just identify them as a bad band. Damn it. Why buy the milk when you can get the cow for free? Wait, no, is that it? What is it? Why buy the... Damn it. Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? For the companionship. Cows make for great pets. They are nature's greatest listener. Sorry, that was utterly ridiculous. All right, I'm gonna kill myself. My wife bought a bird feeder recently, and she's like, "Oh, this would be cute to watch the birds eat," and it is cute for a little bit. And then she bought 2 more bird feeders, and I'm here to tell you, don't do that. What started out as something that we thought would be mutual beneficial and enjoyable for both us and the birds turned into like Apocalypse Now, but with birds in our yard. They're just constantly viciously attacking one another. There's like just tiny little bird trenches, and you'll see a bird just being hauled off on a little tiny little bird stretcher. Taps is always playing in the background with a little trumpet. There's blue jays getting tortured for state secrets and stuff. Like it's makeshift shallow graves all across the yard. Like they are vicious. It's off, and they go through the food so fast. Like our living room now is just floor to ceiling, just industrial Costco bags of bird seed. So we feel like we've started, we can't stop. And now they expect it. Like first thing in the morning, you step outside and there's like thousands of rows of birds just waiting impatiently, tapping their little bird feet, pointing their little bird watches like, 6 a.m., fucko, where you been? Time to feast. They have the little bloodlust in their eye. So be careful. Whenever I'm taking a shit upstairs, I like to say to myself, that's some next level shit right there. I last Christmas time, we had my wife and I. My wife likes to celebrate everything to the greatest degree, so we had like all these inflatables like for Christmas time out. Like you can see our house from space; it's lit up, so it's crazy. And we'll come back to that later. That's an important factor in this story. But here's what happened. At one point, someone had cryptically written SV3 on our curb, right? SV3. We didn't know what it meant, you know? I didn't really think much of it. But then my wife asked me, what do you think that is? Do you think that was like some gang that's like gonna like mark us for death? And I was like, well, I wasn't thinking that, but now that's all I can think about because of my anxious, obsessive behavior that you know very well. Yes, that's what I think. And so to calm us, we're both just like, I guess we're getting murdered by or a serial killer. And to calm us down, we started reaching out to friends and family. We're like sending pictures of this SV3. Like, what do you guys think it meant? We didn't tip them at all. And they all came back like, you guys are going to die. This is not good. I called 311. I was like, could this be like a city thing? They're going to work on like the wires. They're like, no, never seen anything like it. You guys maybe have 12 hours. Like, this is bad. So we finally just asked our neighbors across the street who were like in the yard a lot. We were like, hey, did you guys see anything? Did you maybe see who wrote this? And the one guy was like, well, no, but we did see this one guy that came by and he looked pretty methed out and he started fighting one of your inflatables and he was yelling stuff. So maybe it was him. And right as he says that, this guy starts running down the street screaming. And he's got like a flashlight on his head or something, some light. And I'm just like, oh, he's coming to finish the job, right? He heard us talking about him. And then 3 more guys come run screaming. And I'm like, prepared for anything. And then they all gather around the SV3, hold hands, and start singing. And I was like, what is happening? I go over there, I'm like, guys, I point to the SV3 and I go, what is this? And they go, it's flower. And I was like, I know what it's written with, but what is it? And he goes, Scenic View 3, as if I know what the fuck that means. And then I was like, what does that mean? And he goes, oh, well, we're part of a runner's drinking club, naturally. We have these running, like, courses where we scavenger hunts where we run down and we liked your inflatables and lights so much we called this Scenic View 3. It's part of the stop. So we went from like we're gonna get murdered to doing shots with these strangers. We're just drinking bourbon with these guys who we thought were gonna murder us, and then we ended up joining their club. I have since quit. I'm focused more now on the drinking. The running part just didn't jive with me, so.